I'm going to be on the search of apparently the best dumplings in Hong Kong. Also, I'm going to be exploring what it's like to live in Hong Kong for the people who don't afford to live in some of the amazing apartments that you see on Hong Kong Island. The darker side really of what goes on here, where you've got so many people living in such a small amount of space, and what their living conditions are actually like. We're going to see what a real cage home looks like, which is what a lot of people in Hong Kong can only afford to live in, which is the size of a cage. Stick around, we're going to get into that. Let's go do it. So first things first though, I'm starving, I need some food, so let's go see if we can find this place that's been recommended by Ed. It's called Tim Ho Wan, and apparently it has the best dim sum in Hong Kong. So let's try and see if we can find it. Oh wow. Is this all for me? Look at how big this HT is. It's like as big as my head. So when you arrive here, you need to make a ticket, and you decide, you basically choose how many people are on your table, and it will print out a ticket for you depending on the number of people on your table, and then they call out the number. But they have this QR code where if you scan this, it will show you on your phone like where you are in the queue, which was super helpful. Luckily for me, I was the next person in the queue, so there wasn't any wait whatsoever. This has been recommended to me by Ed. He said that this place has had a Michelin star in the past. It's a really popular chain over here. There's lots of these restaurants. The one I'm on right now is at Central on Hong Kong Island, but there's also another one. Well, there's more than one, there's several. So let's see what it's like. I'm looking forward to some dumplings. The steamed fresh shrimp dumplings here, which is known as Harbour, and then we've got the spring rolls filled with egg white and shrimp. That's what you can see in the middle there, is the egg white. And then we have the wonton and chili sauce, which looks amazing. Super tasty. I'm very excited to get eating this. I mean, you can tell I've already eaten one of them because they're so tasty. So this is the shrimp dumpling. It is super tasty, like very nice texture on the outside. And then the next one is this. This is the wonton chili. Again, you'll probably spot there's already one missing because I woke up late today, so I haven't had any breakfast. This is my first meal of the day. It's not actually quite spicy, like chili-wise. The spice is quite mild. But it's nice with the sesame seed as well. It's a bit crunchy. And then finally, the spring roll with egg white, which looks a bit strange at first when you bite into it. It's very white. I've got egg white in it as well to have high protein content, which is always good. So the question is, was it the best dumplings that I've ever had? And I think I have to say it's up there in the top 2. That was pretty good. They were super tasty. They came super quick. It was, I think, quite reasonable considering I'm in Hong Kong. You know, it's not the same as if you're going to be going to a street food vendor or somewhere that was like a small local place. It is somewhere in like a very expensive place to eat. So I don't think it was that expensive. I think it worked out about £19 and I had 3 dishes. And I'm super full now. I wouldn't be able to eat anything till later. So we're currently on Hong Kong Island here, and we're going to be heading over to the other side that we can see behind me here. Now over here, you've got still more massive financial buildings, but if you can see right behind there, you've then got all of these massive tall apartment buildings. And this is what we're going to go and be checking out, learning more about, is where do all the people in Hong Kong live that don't work at the financial institutions? There's so many people who are here who are either foreign overseas workers. So like a lot of the people we saw when I first arrived in Hong Kong on the Sunday, that were all socialising in Central. Like, where do they live? Where do the retired people live? The people that maybe aren't no longer working. We're going to go and check out that over there. So let's go. This really is a city of two halves because you've got so many luxury buildings like the ones behind me over here, which are all shopping centres and malls, and then you have accommodation, which is like up here. Now these are actually probably accommodations where you will be paying at least $4,000 a month to be renting one of these. But some of the accommodation that I went to look at on a walking tour, a free walking tour, it's called the dark side of Hong Kong. And I would 100% recommend it because you get to see what it's really like for the people who live here that just can't afford to pay the kind of rents that are expected on these kind of buildings here. The ones behind me, you're going to get your own living room, you'll even get a balcony in some cases, but this is not the case for what they're called subdivided homes. So let me tell you about what subdivided homes are. Basically, if you think of it like student accommodation, if anyone here who's watching this went to university, you remember that you probably stayed in student halls, or you'd have like a lock on your own bedroom, and then you would have shared kitchen, shared, in some cases, shared bathroom, and you might have 5 bedrooms, and technically they're all 5 separately rented out spaces. The communal area is being used for everybody else. And this is the same that they do here, but not just for students. This is for everybody that can't afford to pay the main rents for the apartment buildings. And so what that means is that you have people living in like an 8 by 8 meter or a 9 by 9 meter kind of space that has got a bed, a kitchen, it's your dining room, it's your bathroom, it's where you do all your washing, it's got everything in it. And there's an example that you'll see in a second, which is from the walking tour company, and it's crazy just to think that that space has to some instances house a family. So it would be a family of maybe 3 or 4 that would have to live in that space. Parents sleeping on the top bunk, children sleeping on the bottom. You've got one bed up here, another bed down here, and you'd have to have a bathroom that's literally 1 meter square. And your kitchen would be this big. And you would actually be paying quite a lot of money for that privilege. Then you're paying £900 a month, and that's literally just one small room that you're living in. You never leave that room. And then the worst part of all is the cage. Could you live in an environment like this, in a cage, in this amount of space, where they can only sleep here, and then they have to take out all their belongings whilst they're sleeping and put them back in and lock them away overnight? This is absolutely crazy. This is especially the case for a lot of retired or elderly people here in Hong Kong that maybe don't have a pension, that all their belongings stay inside that cage and they're locked in whilst they go out and about for the day. And then when they come back, they move them all to the side and they sleep in that cage. And to rent a cage space, it's going to be around 1,800 to 2,200 Hong Kong dollars a month. So what, that's like nearly £200 a month, £220 a month. And that's because a lot of the people who are renting these spaces are being paid well below the minimum wage, so that they can't really afford any of the apartments like behind me over there, because they just will never have enough earnings. And it's quite shocking, really. Like, it really just, seeing it and physically being in that space and imagining, I mean, I was there for maybe 5 minutes and it was too hot, I was sweating. I was like, oh, I could feel really claustrophobic. The ceiling had like loads of mold and water dripping down. You know, it's really like not well maintained. It was a lot. So I have such empathy, and like, especially the people in cages as well. There's an NGO that helps people who are in these situations here in Hong Kong, and there's a booklet that the tour guide Frankie was showing us, and in the images you could see aerial view from above, just like what it's like in living in that space where you've just got one bed and all your belongings, your clothes, you have to wash in there. In some cases there isn't even bathroom facilities or shower facilities, people use the public facilities. And so that's the kind of side that you don't really see of this city, because when you look around and you see all of this development, all of these posh buildings, all of this like kind of well-maintained garden areas, and yes, lots of open space, it's for public use, which is good. Now, so you would ask the question, if this is the case, then like, what is homelessness like and how is that treated here? So also, Frankie, the tour guide, was kind of explaining to us his experience of this, which I was really grateful for. And he was saying that in Hong Kong generally, they have tried to move the homeless people out and away from where they're building new buildings, because if a developer is building a new set of apartments and then there's loads of homeless people kind of outside on the underpass or in the park, it's affecting the ability to be able to rent that building. So apparently there is about 200,000 Hong Kong citizens that are living in subdivided homes, which is a lot of people, right? If you think about that number, it's almost 250,000 people. If you're earning less than 3,800 Hong Kong dollars a month, so to put that into perspective, that's about 400 British pounds a month. Then they say that you are under the poverty line, and there is 1.4 million people out of the 7 million that live in Hong Kong who are under the poverty line. So it just gives you an indication of like the impact of how many people this is impacting. Frankie was saying he estimates there's about 5,000 to 10,000 homeless people, which is a very, very low number when you think about it in a city that has about 7 million inhabitants. And I think we were discussing this, because you have all these people that are living in subdivided homes and you've got people that are living in cages, it's kind of masking this issue because they're going somewhere at night. They do have a space which is theirs to use. And so you could argue that, you know, just having those like lower quality places where people can stay keeps them off the street, allows them to earn income, and so therefore like reduces homelessness. But it still doesn't necessarily impact quality of life or potential other impacts you have around health and social mobility. So it's a very interesting, it's blown my mind honestly being here this week and learning about this. And I would highly recommend, if you come to Hong Kong, book the tour. I'll put it below. I think it's like £25 or 250 Hong Kong dollars for that one, but they do have a free walking tour if you want to do one around Central and learn just about Hong Kong generally, and then you tip what you feel like it's worth. But yeah, I think it's really opened my eyes, just like some of the problems around housing in a different way to what I've maybe experienced before. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Because I'm getting this information off locals here and sending it back to you, I may have got some things wrong, so let me know if that's the case. Or if you live in one of these, like, let me know what is the actual experience like. I'd be very interested to know and hear from people who do live in this situation. And what I just can't get over is just how much of the public space is just available here. Like, there's just loads of greenery. There's free Wi-Fi that's super fast. I mean, I just got a drink from Shake Shack, but actually I didn't need to. I could have just come and sat here on any of these benches because I'd be able to use the Wi-Fi. It's all offered for free. And then you can actually see both sides. So you've got this side over here with all the different buildings behind me. And then you can go over to the other side here. It's just starting to rain as well, which is a real shame because it's so nice. It's like 27, 28 degrees, so it's nice and warm, it's not too humid. Look, right over here, then you get a view of the harbour. So you can see down here, this is where the pier, Central Pier is. So this is where all the ferries come from Hong Kong Island and go to all the different destinations. So we're going to be able to get a ferry from here to Macau. And then there's a walkway bridge over here on the right, and actually the Hong Kong spinning wheel is actually just behind there. You can't see it right now because this building's blocking it. You've also got the bus terminal here, and then, as I said, like right below us is then Central Station, so you can get that to the airport or on the kind of underground line to any of the different stations. I don't know if it's just me, but I find that places like this, shopping centres like this, which are so nice, like everything has been considered, like every piece of it. The marble flooring is all polished, every single banister is clean, like it's just absolutely gorgeous. But it's got all these shops that, I don't know, like just don't appeal to me. Maybe because I'm not buying luxury brands, so maybe that's why it doesn't appeal to me. Or, you know, maybe it's because I'm travelling and so actually I don't have the ability to have much in my backpack, and maybe that's why it doesn't appeal to me. I just find the concept of it starts to get a bit crazy, especially when you've been to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 malls and they're all like within a 2-3 mile radius of each other. They all connect into each other, and I don't know. I just, like, something that came to me as I was going to the last mall was just like all this empty space. And I understand the concept and how, like, having worked in marketing for the last 14 years, you know, if you sell things and they're all crammed on a shelf, people are going to pay a cheaper price because there's more quantity, and so it's seen as lower value. So if you have a shop where there's like 3 pedestals with like 1 handbag on each, you can charge $5,000 if you've got a brand behind it that's luxury and it fits that message. But in a city that has so little space for its inhabitants, it feels crazy to me that, like, there are shops that have so much empty space which just have like 3 or 4 handbags in it, or 2 or 3 watches. To me it just seems bonkers. Like, that space could be used for people to live in, right? Or just feels like a strange use of space, which is not anything to do with Hong Kong. It's the whole consumerism way of life we live. But then it's just like everyone else is walking by all these shops, no one's actually in them, no one's buying anything, so it seems a bit mental in my mind that they're just being pinned up by this whole belief. Anyway, there's my little socialist rant. What do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you actually think that no, these spaces are really important? To have all of these luxury shops in multiple shopping centres all across every city in the world where there's loads of space and it's very open and nice and clean. Or could we be using this space better, maybe? For like the human beings that need somewhere to live, rather than like the products we're producing needing somewhere to sit and be on display. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, because I don't know. I've only been to 5 countries. I'm not saying I've been to every country yet, but I know that a lot of the countries where this is going to be a thing in every city just seems to me a bit crazy. Look at all these apartments behind me here. I'm on the rooftop of the hotel, the Ramada, Harbour View, and it is amazing. I'm 38 floors high here, and it's crazy. Like, the swimming pool is right here. I can't get my head around how over here there's the massive Victoria Peak mountain up there, and you've got all of these apartments coming down the mid-levels, and then over here you've got the harbour view. To just show you how high up we are, because my room's on the 23rd floor and I have a view of that building here, this grey one. That's blocking my view of the harbour, but from here you can see pretty much everything. So what does fish and chips look like in Hong Kong? I mean, this is looking at very similar to UK here. Let's give this one a go. This is definitely looking the most similar to what I've had before. Oh my god, that is like exactly the same, with the whiteness of the cod, the crispiness of the batter. If I shut my eyes, I could probably be in the UK right now. Like McDonald's French fries, which is nice. So that's up there, I think, because it's very similar to what I'm used to, fish and chips from the UK. So one of the things that I found out from the walking tour, which was super interesting, was that the Migrants Day is a thing that happens every Sunday here in Hong Kong. And that's why there were so many different workers that are all congregating on a Sunday in Central. So we saw Filipinos, maybe some Thai people, some Malaysian people as well, that have all moved to Hong Kong to work, either as cleaners or as maids, for the people who live here, who are working maybe full-time in finance or in corporate jobs. And so they're these international or like foreign migrant workers. Because they live in such small accommodation here in the city, they don't have anywhere to socialise. And so on a Sunday, they'll socialise in Central. And the reason why they've got all these boxes and all these clothes is that they buy clothes from each other, or they will like give gifts to people, they'll socialise. So it's all very strange to see that going on. It's also quite sad as well that they don't have a space where they can
do that kind of socializing anywhere in the city, really. But it was also quite impressive to see how like people can just get on and do that, and everyone else can get on and do their thing as well, and share that space. So that was interesting.
Wow, it's very nice here. You've got music playing, you've got greenery. It's interesting, the park up there is actually a pet-friendly park, so you can walk your dogs. There's even like dog cleaning stations, and there's so many apartments above the shopping centre, obviously because it's like a residential and commercial hub, which I didn't realise until I got here. I'm guessing that's why it has to be dog-friendly, so that people can walk their pets. So we're heading now to the Avenue of the Stars, and it's just over here. So here we are, the Avenue of the Stars. Hong Kong, looking out over onto Hong Kong Island over here. And I had no idea until just now you've got all of these different logos of all the different brands on top of the buildings. This is the first time I've seen this view in Hong Kong. Look how blue the water is as well. I was not expecting that. You have different handprints on here from different people who are all apparently famous. So you've got here an actress, Miss Katrina Fong Boo Boo, who is apparently the Shirley Temple of Hong Kong. She was the most popular child actor of her time, hitting the big screen at the age of 3 and appearing in 200 films before taking a hiatus. She returned to Hong Kong cinema in 1986. Her performance in 92 legendary La Rose Noire was particularly compelling. Look how tiny her hands are in comparison to mine. It's crazy. There's a helicopter just landing over there on the other side of the bay. You can actually just see all the water coming up from... Wow, I wonder if that's like a helicopter tour that you can do. Although, probably wouldn't be a great day to do it today because it's quite cloudy. I don't know if you can see, but like all around, wherever you look, I wasn't expecting this. I thought you'd be able to see the sea, but you can't. Like, we're on the bottom of mainland here, and all you can see is obviously islands with just buildings all around you, just surrounding you, and all the buildings that are. I mean, that's very close to the hotel right here, but like. You can see anything taller than that building, like over in the distance, you just can't see it. It's covered with cloud. And this is so cool. This is something you do not see very often, especially in the UK, unless you live in a port town, or where you've got a boat like this here that's actually carrying shipping containers, because there's a massive port here in Hong Kong. Like when you come off the airport, when you're on the airport express coming into Central, you just see this huge port with all these shipping containers, all these boats unloading, loading. So, you know, that's a big part of what goes on here. Is a large amount of goods that go all over the world come from here, through China, of course, as well. Let's keep going, see who else there is, shall we? See if there's anyone I recognise. So I've seen this building over here. And I was looking at different hotel choices. It's like almost like a square. I don't know how to describe it. It's like 2 parts, and then in the centre it's kind of suspended. It's crazy. That's a nice view. I could sit and watch that view for a long time. There's just so much to take in, really. Like all the different buildings, all the different logos. You've got Peak Tower right at the back there, which I went to, and will be available in a video up here if you want to see what it's like from the view that side. Yeah. It's quite busy as well. I mean, it is a Saturday, so obviously it's going to be busier on a weekend. It's nice to actually have a bit of breeze because it's quite humid today. The last 4 or 5 days it's been quite cool, and then and the temperature's just racked up today. Also just can't get over the engineering of these buildings. When you look at like all these apartments up here, how like really nice designs they are, then you've got this massive shopping centre below it. It's just not the kind of building or architecture you get like this in the UK, unless you're in London. It's just everywhere here. In some ways, but then also in others it's so strange. Like the cage accommodation and subdivided units. It's like this makes everything look really nice and fancy and well off, and you think that everyone's doing really well, but actually it's not everyone, I don't think. So I was debating whether or not I should actually talk about this in the video, but I've got to, because when I started this journey I said I was going to be 100% honest with my experience, the good and the bad. And honestly, I think the last 2 weeks have probably been the hardest so far travelling. I feel like going into hospital with food poisoning, I didn't want it to affect me as much as it did. So I felt like I had to get back up and go like straight away. As soon as I hit Hong Kong, I was like, yes, I'm going to film 5 videos and, you know, I'll be out every day. But the reality is that my body hasn't got that energy. And I think I've been beating myself up a lot about it in my head, because I'll be trying to get up 9 o'clock and get out of the hotel room and go out and explore, and I just don't have the energy to. Like by 3 or 4 o'clock I need to go back to the hotel and have a nap, or I've like found myself just aimlessly wandering around. And aimlessly wandering around's fine, but like I kind of end up just eating McDonald's because I can't find anywhere to eat, and then I feel a bit meh, because it's not my favourite choice of food when travelling. So, but the beating myself up part's always the hardest with this stuff. And then my sleep gone all out of whack. Weirdly, I've been like, I went to bed yesterday at 5 o'clock, slept till about 9 p.m, and then was up till 4 a.m, and then woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. And I felt lots of pressure as well to get lots of travel booked before I head to China, because that's coming up next. And I think the fear I have around not being able to know if I'm going to be able to access booking websites and if payment gateways will work, all of this has meant that I've like wanted to get everything booked before I enter China. And so trying to do all of that on my laptop, trying to rest because I need the rest. I'm still not 100% well. And yeah, feeling like I need to go out and explore all different parts of the city. So I'm just being honest with it, that it's just and there's a part that I don't want to talk about, which is that I'm actually really homesick. I really miss Ed, and I miss Tom, and I miss Eddie, the cat and the dog. And I think having Ed come and visit me in Sri Lanka and in Nepal for the last 3 weeks, and being around him, and then him leaving, and then me being on my own, has also contributed to just feeling like, why, is this what I want to keep doing? Oh, but I know that that's not how I'm going to feel. It's just for the whole trip. It's just a couple of days. I think I'm just feeling a bit low still. And that's okay. A couple of things I've been doing here in Hong Kong I haven't been filming, because I'm not filming every single thing. And, you know, that's part of it for me, is also having a rest. It's having days when I don't film, having some days where I do just stay in the hotel and just relax, and I haven't done that here, even though that's probably what my body needs. So, you know, there's stuff I can watch on Netflix, there's stuff I can do to relax, and I think that's what I'm going to try and do now. It's my last full day here in Hong Kong, and yeah, it's been a struggle. So I just want to share that honestly with you guys. Maybe people aren't watching this, it doesn't matter, but I just never expected to get that type of food poisoning where I need to go to hospital, and literally like I didn't eat anything for nearly 48 hours. I didn't drink couldn't hold any fluids in for 24 hours, and I had to be put on a drip. So it just really like impacted my body, and of course it will do, because literally like the body is going to shut down when it's not working like that. So I can't just expect to be like up and about 3 days later, like having the same level of energy. It's going to take me some time to get back there. So yeah, I feel like I know it's going to pass. I know I'm not going to feel like this for the whole trip, obviously, and I know it's not going to probably feel like this now, like much longer after this. But I felt like I had to kind of share it because it's the reality. It's how I've been feeling the last few days, and I've been thinking, no, it's fine. I'll just like I'll hide this from the video, and I'll like make sure all the videos upbeat and exciting. But the reality is that's not how I feel right now. And it's nothing to do with Hong Kong as a city. It's just where I'm at. So I don't know if other people can relate to that when you've been traveling or if you've had food poisoning that has really knocked you out. Like, how long is it taking you to recover? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this. It helps, I think, just even being able to share it with this camera right now, how I'm feeling. And yeah, so thank you. I'm just really enjoying this park. I think I haven't been around nature maybe for a bit, and it's beautiful, like waterfalls, also the different levels as well in the park. So you've got like a Chinese pagoda over here. You've got actually there's like a swimming baths, like a public swimming baths as well, and then you've also got like this more like greenery area. Flamingos. And then strangely a McDonald's in the centre of the park. Why? I don't get it. But I am going to get an ice cream. I'm really impressed. It's ice cream from McDonald's in the park. $8. I think that's even less than £1. It's crazy. So yeah, that's the end of this video. The darker side of Hong Kong. It's been a bit all over, if I'm honest. But I am still recovering. I'm just piecing it all together as part of the journey. So thank you for watching. If you've liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you have found any of this entertaining or informative, maybe educational, then why not subscribe on the button below, as the next part of my journey is through China. So that's going to be interesting. First time to China, not really sure what to expect. So follow along. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.